Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about the impact of gold making in Shadowlands and how it could affect the market in Classic WoW, or basically how it could affect the market across both versions of the game. Now I've been making tons of videos on how to make gold in Classic WoW, and with Shadowlands you can actually get some new opportunities to make gold in Classic WoW as well. Remember a couple of months ago I made a video about how trading gold across both versions of the game is allowed? Well, it still is. And with the introduction of a new expansion, Goldfarms will start yielding tons of gold per hour when you farm Shadowlands relevant materials. For reference, when Battle for Azeroth came out, you could make 100,000 gold per hour farming herbalism and mining. And if we take a look at the WoW market Discord, the rate of gold trading from classic to retail is roughly 1 to 400, and if we divide 100,000 by 400, we get the number 250. This means that by farming herbalism and mining in BFA, you would make the gold equivalent of 250 gold per hour in Classic WoW, and you can then trade that retail gold for Classic gold. The exact same thing will happen in Shadowlands, and the only question is how valuable will it be? Will we see the 100,000 gold per hour from herbalism and mining again, or will a new gold farming meta show up? Or will we make even more this time? I guess we won't really know until Shadowlands actually comes out, but I'm really excited for this. And what does this mean for Classic WoW players? Well, it means that as long as you level up one character in Shadowlands, grab herbalism and mining, you can make 250 gold per hour in Classic WoW value, and then trade that Shadowlands gold for Classic gold, meaning that literally anyone can make 250 gold per hour now, as long as the 100,000 gold per hour in Shadowlands stays around that value. Another thing is that some people will leave Classic to play Shadowlands. How many is and always will be somewhat unknown, but there will be some. A portion of these people might be looking to trade their gold away in Classic for retail gold to get something back for their work in Classic, and this is where we can capitalize on them needing to get rid of their Classic gold and get some really good deals if you have retail gold. And actually, just to get some numbers on this, I made a poll in my Discord server to see how many of you guys are planning to test out Shadowlands, and keep in mind this Discord server was originally made for Classic WoW, and I've been promoting it through Classic WoW videos, so this is basically a poll on how many Classic WoW players will test out Shadowlands. We can see that 14% of people are planning to abandon Classic completely and shift their focus entirely onto Shadowlands. Another 28% will try Shadowlands, but focus on Classic, and another 7% will focus on Shadowlands, but might also play some Classic as well. Another 4% said they would play Classic until Shadowlands, then Shadowlands until TBC. Based on these 123 votes, over 50% of them said they would play Shadowlands to some degree, and once again keep in mind this is mostly Classic WoW players, meaning that there is a fair chance over 50% of the Classic WoW player base is actually going to try out Shadowlands if we're going to go by these numbers. Now if we also look at it the opposite way, let's say mages can make 200 gold per hour by boosting in Classic WoW, by using that same 1 to 400 gold ratio from Classic to retail, that means you're making 80,000 gold in retail values, meaning that any gold farm below that isn't really worth doing, especially if it requires more effort than boosting in Classic WoW. I like to look at gold farms as effort versus reward, and a lot of times I will go for a very chill gold farm that gives less gold per hour, instead of a stressful gold farm that gives a bit more gold per hour, simply because I like chill gold farms where I can either have a conversation with my friends while farming, or watch Netflix, Twitch, or any of that good stuff. But I believe you get the point by now. You can trade gold across Classic and retail, and the amount of gold per hour will vary depending on what you do, and the value of gold currency will go up and down depending on the state of the game, and people are more willing to spend gold early in the new expansions because they need new gear, new enchants, they need to skill up their new professions, and so on. This is why I recommend checking out Shadowlands and making some gold over there in the first month or two, because the amount of gold you'll make after the first 2 months will drastically go down compared to the first 2 months. Like in Battle for Azeroth, I made over 10 million gold in the first 2 months, which is more than I made throughout the rest of the expansion, even though I kept playing it fairly regularly. I don't think this is anything new to any of you, that there will be more players playing at the beginning of an expansion, and then people will gradually stop playing again, and this is usually why people are willing to spend so much gold as well, which is where you can capitalize on gold making across both games. If you quit Classic WoW for a month, focus on retail, farm gold 24/7, then return to Classic and use the WoW Market Discord to trade gold across servers, you could end up making huge amounts of gold. And here's another way to look at it. After those first couple of months of Shadowlands are over, and the hype goes down, most gold farms will stop giving those insane amounts of gold per hour, because people will be less willing to spend their gold on consumables in Shadowlands. This is when you can go over to Classic WoW and level either a mage and sell boosts, or you can simply fish in Tanaris, or go to Moonglade and fish for Nightfin Snappers, and make over 150 gold per hour, which gives you the equivalent of about 60,000 gold per hour in Shadowlands. You can then trade that gold from Classic to retail by using the WoW Market Discord again. Here's the very quick summary, just in case things got complicated at some point. The first 2 months in Shadowlands, people will be more willing to spend gold in Shadowlands, and gold farms will be worth a lot. This is where you can easily make gold in Shadowlands, and trade that for Classic WoW gold, and make a lot of gold per hour. After those first 2 months in Shadowlands, people will be less willing to spend gold in Shadowlands, and gold farms will be worth less. This is when you can easily make gold in Classic WoW, and trade that gold for retail gold or Shadowlands gold, and make a lot of gold per hour. After those 2 initial months of Shadowlands, however, we will still be able to make a lot of gold from old world gold farms, like we have in Battle for Azeroth, and I would imagine we can make even more now in Shadowlands with the Relic of the Past system, which makes old expansion materials even more useful. So there is a possibility that we can make more gold in Shadowlands than in Classic, even after the initial Shadowlands hype as well, but I will keep you guys updated on that when the time comes, as I will test out a ton of different gold farms in Shadowlands, and you can expect tons of videos on those. So if you are into gold making in Shadowlands, make sure you slap that subscribe button, ring the bell, and just be on the lookout for future uploads. You can join my Discord server through the link in the description as well, as we have a really good gold making community over there as well. And that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I was able to clarify a bit about gold making across both versions of the game, and how you can use it to your advantage to make gold in whichever version of the game you want. For me, I will try to make some gold in Classic to set myself up for TBC, but my primary focus will be to make as much as possible in Shadowlands, and my goal is at least 10 million in the first 2 months. But yeah, that's it for today. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.